What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Peanut Gallery Podcast, episode 43. It's our 1 year, man. That's pretty
Happy
legit.
1 year!
Woo!
You look so excited.
I'm excited. This is awesome, man. We started this 1 year ago.
Just about, yeah. It's
Yeah.
a little bit more than a year, but you know.
It's pretty much close enough. We're going to talk about it more on the main topic because we kind of want to bring up what we're thinking, why we started this, where we're going, and just to thank you guys
kind of
about
reflect
it.
on this past year. You know, we've made a lot of progress. I think we fixed 30% of the problems in America.
We have. We
so.
fixed most of the world's problems.
Yeah,
in this
because I
year,
think
which is pretty
30%
remarkable.
of the problems when we started was the other candidate.
Yeah, so we fixed it. All fixed.
No, yeah.
Exactly. But without further ado, guys, we got a lot to talk about today. So this is the Peanut Gallery Podcast. This, of course, is the place that we provide our completely insignificant and unprofessional opinions about the most important and significant topics of the day. I'm your host, Jared, and with me, as always, is Seth. And we're going to jump right into what was nuts this week. All right, guys, we're going to move right into it because we got a lot to talk about this week. This first story is actually pretty freaking depressing, man.
Kind of
and pretty infuriating, yeah.
Yep.
So
we're going to be talking about the Michigan 5. You probably have heard about this, but it was a story that happened this past week where 5 teenage boys, ages ranging from 15 to 17, were bored one night, or maybe they weren't bored. They just they wanted something fun to do, so they decided to throw rocks over a major interstate, I-75.
Yeah.
And not little pebbles. They were grabbing big rocks and throwing them over at the cars.
Like 20
Between
pounds?
6 to 20 pounds.
It's insane.
Right, so they were throwing rocks over the freaking overpass on cars going about 70 miles per hour, and unfortunately, one of the rocks struck a car and killed Kenneth White, a 32-year-old, about to be married father. So yeah, that kind of sucks. And now all of these kids are being tried as adults.
Yeah,
they're being tried for second-degree murder, which makes sense. I mean, I don't think it was first degree. They weren't maybe I don't know what the plan is on throwing big freaking rocks at oncoming traffic.
Yeah,
it just seems like a bad decision, right? But there's kind of been a little bit of controversy because they are being tried for life in prison.
Yeah,
which
I think that's
I don't know. I think it kind of makes sense. I understand they're kids, but at the same time, there needs to be repercussions.
If you kill someone, I mean, they understood what they were doing. Sure, they probably weren't planning to kill anyone.
But you're not throwing a 21-pound rock at cars expecting nothing to happen.
I mean, dude, when I was a kid, I would get in those little drainage things and shoot cars with airsoft guns.
I remember that.
That was the craziest thing that I would do. I didn't get on interstates or bridges above interstates and throw 20-pound rocks off there.
Yeah, it's really messed up. They brought the rocks to there from other places. So.
Absolutely, man. And I think that these kids definitely need to be punished pretty harshly to kind of set a precedent. Look, this is not okay. You can't be doing this kind of stuff. Even though you're a 15-year-old kid, you were an accomplice in killing somebody.
Yes, and it's good. Again, it's also gonna suck for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they know. I'd be interested. I don't know if they know. I wonder if they know who threw the rock that killed them, or they all live with that guilt that it might have been the rock they threw.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I agree. There needs to be swift, and probably this first one needs to just be lay down the law. We're not going to tolerate this,
Yeah.
And just so it doesn't happen again. And I for Kenneth White and his wife, or his soon-to-be wife and his child, that sucks.
Yeah.
You're just driving a rock, literally just shattered right through the windshield and crushed his. Yeah.
I mean, that's really. I mean, that's
sucks,
beyond tragic, man.
So I don't have the biggest sympathy for these 5 kids. I was a dumb kid. Most people have been dumb kids in their life, but I wasn't
but you
that
don't
dumb.
you don't do that kind
and
of
if
stuff.
I killed somebody, I mean, you kind of have to be held responsible regardless. And the judge did isn't allowing bail.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I kind of makes sense. I kind of think that this needs to be bad punishment.
He's being pretty harsh on him. Yeah, I mean, the sentencing is kind of life in prison. I mean, for a 15-year-old, that does, once again, seem harsh, especially if he wasn't the one who actually threw the rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to happen.
But, I mean, you can't be allowing this kind of behavior at all, and if you just send him to juvie or something like that, it's saying that, okay, it's real. If you're a minor and you accidentally kill someone, it's kind of okay. Yeah, no, it's not okay at all. Mm-hmm. And this is the punishment that you're going to face.
I agree.
So I thought that story was definitely interesting and pretty tragic.
Yeah.
This next story is pretty cool. It's the NCIS star Maria Berllo posted an Instagram picture. You can see it right here. So she's at a gun range with her boyfriend, She's holding a.
Did I hear the word gun?
I know. You should be.
I feel like you assaulted me.
I did. I did. Assaulted. You don't know it. But she's there at the gun range with her boyfriend. They're taking a picture. You see the boyfriend's fingers clearly off the trigger. She's holding the gun. Everything's
actually
safe.
Something I noticed right away.
Absolutely.
When you're a gun owner, you notice when someone's holding a gun, if they know what they're doing. If they know what they're doing, their fingers off the trigger.
Absolutely.
Some idiot that doesn't know what they're doing. Like whenever you hold a gun, you don't put your finger on the trigger.
Yeah.
Unless you're about to shoot the firearm. Unless you're about to freaking shoot it, you do not have your finger on the trigger.
So clearly they're both responsible. They're both safe here. They're in a gun range, and she took a picture. And I mean, she was there. She released a statement later because she got a lot of flack for it. She was like, "Look, I'm a special agent." She plays Special Agent Jacqueline. I think I don't watch the show, but she's Special Agent Jacqueline in the NCIS show. She
probably carries a gun.
Exactly. So she's probably at the range getting familiar with the weapons she's going to be using on film because she'd only been on set for like a week.
Yeah, but I don't know if she'd use an AR-15.
Yeah, an assault rifle.
Yeah.
But
with a bump stock.
With a bump stock. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
But anyways, so she was there, and some fans were pretty outraged about it. There were fans who commented on the Instagram post saying, quote, "That's a shameful pic." And then another one commented saying, quote, "Always been a fan, but glamorizing assault weapons after Vegas is clumsy at best and callous at worst. One less fam. Good luck with NCIS." And then another one commented, "There's nothing sexy about anyone holding a gun," which is not true.
That's
all.
Patently false.
But I think kind of the one that was just kind of wild to me is saying glamorizing assault weapons after the Vegas tragedy. Listen, everyone acknowledges Vegas was a tragedy, but there's nothing glamorizing an assault weapon if you're using an AR-15, which AR does not stand for assault rifle at all, if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
But she's at a gun range just shooting a weapon with her boyfriend, training for a TV show
that
she's
she
on.
training? I don't know.
Was she training? We know that? She released a statement saying that she was at the gun range getting familiar with firearms that she handles in the show. So once again, I haven't seen the show, but if she's a special agent, it would make sense that she's using firearms.
Yeah.
But dude, the outrage over this is just kind of crazy.
I don't know. I mean, I think it kind of. I think it is a little bit. It's a little. I think it's a little bit in bad taste to post a picture kind of soon.
Really?
Well, I don't know. It seems a little sensitive, like a little bit overly sensitive. I mean,
to post a picture of you at a gun range with your boyfriend?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because it is just a weapon. It's a little. I can kind of understand that, and it being if someone's raw, like if they had someone killed there, I could see them being a little. I mean, like. You saw in movies, they took out the two towers in Spider-Man 2, for instance, right after 9/11.
Yeah.
It's just the towers, and they didn't do anything wrong. They took them out.
But yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I can kind of understand their mentality. I think it's dumb. I also didn't see a lot of this hate. I did see... Because I follow a lot of gun people on Instagram, I saw a lot of people saying, hey, go show her some love on her Instagram because she's been getting a little bit of flack. So I saw overwhelming support.
I think,
that's cool.
Well, because I think there's more support because most people are fairly reasonable about this.
It was a very small minority of people that were getting upset.
To, like a loud minority.
But just the fact that someone did get upset, like, I would have seen him been like, okay, I mean, if I was a fan of her, I wouldn't have cared. But like, I can kind of see it being a little bit inconsiderate, but not even close to enough for me to post about it.
Yeah,
or to say, "Oh, I can't believe you did this. I'm no longer a fan."
Yeah,
like get over yourself.
I don't get that at all, man.
Yeah,
I think it's totally fine, man.
Definitely still not gonna watch NCIS though. I used to watch. That's similar to CSI, right? NCIS.
I mean, it has similar.
I have no idea. But I used to watch. I remember the very, very beginning, the first CSI. I remember watching that with my dad. That was so fun.
Really?
Sorry, that was just non sequitur. Nothing to do with this, but it was. I like that, so that was cool.
Good. This is a great transition.
I liked
Moving
it.
Into this next story.
Whatever.
No, but this last thing I kind of wanted to talk about in this section is something that Senator Ben Sasse kind of said. There was a recent Senate race in Alabama,
like a 5K or.
Yeah, it was actually a marathon. The senators race then. Yeah, it was
pretty
crazy. No, so basically it's Alabama, right? So whoever wins the Republican primary is going to be the senator of the state because it's Alabama.
Is Alabama Republican?
Yeah, crazy. Newsflash, right?
Dude.
So anyways, a senator named Roy Moore just recently won the primary for the Republican Party in Alabama, so he'll more than likely be elected as the state senator for Alabama. But Roy Moore is famous for he was a judge in Alabama who refused to remove the Ten Commandments from his courthouse. So basically, the federal government had issued a statement to him multiple times. There was kind of like a an argument, a battle, kind of back and forth between Roy Moore and the federal government, based on saying that the Ten Commandments were not allowed to be in his courthouse because the federal government did not endorse any particular religion. And so what Ben Sasse did is he got on a Jonah Goldberg's podcast called The Remnant, and he commented talking about just the state of the Republican Party, how it is. And he said, quote, "It feels
shambles.
Yeah, it feels like this party that I'm a part of has gone post-constitutional in all sorts of fundamental ways." And we saw some of that in the 2016 election. So I thought that this was interesting because I agree with Ben Sasse in this instance. Like, I completely support Roy Moore's personal convictions that, you know, maybe if he wants to uphold the Ten Commandments, then that's fine. But I think that I am completely libertarian on the approach of government and religion in this instance. And there's obviously no problem at all with you drawing, you know, some of your morals from the Bible or whatever religion you are. But if you're a federal judge or anything like that, you have to rule. Your job is to interpret the law and rule on the law as it is, not to change the law. You're not in the legislative
The law
branch.
of the United States, not the Ten Commandments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that that's kind of a problem, and I think it's really an interesting topic where the Republican Party, especially in this last 2016 election cycle, has been willing to sacrifice a lot of principles in the name of, you know, whatever kind of narrative that they're pushing or whatever belief that they have.
Well, I think, personally, we've talked about this before, I think they're just as bad as the Democrats. I don't think there's no really connection in the Republicans besides getting money from the RNC and running as a Republican because they're in a Republican state. I really don't think anyone really cares. And as we've seen, when push comes to shove, very few, if any, stand up for any of their beliefs they held if it's not pertinent to the party. They endorsed, many of them endorsed Donald Trump after like that lost in the race, and they turned around and they endorsed Donald Trump because that's what you do. Well, if that's what you do, but it clearly goes against what you've been campaigning for and what you say you believe, you don't have integrity and you kind of a piece of garbage. And I'm like, I understand that's what you do, but if you put that above what your personal convictions are, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I think that personally, I think that about the majority of politicians, and I have no love for the Republican Party, really. And I mean, I've never been affiliated with them at all. And I usually more times than not, I fall more in their camp than the Democrats.
Just because you're a limited government.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think they get a lot wrong. And I think that, as we've seen, when the push comes to shove, very few, if any, actually stand up for what they say they believe in.
Especially in the Senate. Yeah, I mean,
no,
the
they
Republicans
just don't.
right now.
They're just garbage.
It's
all
super
of the politicians. They're just not going to do what they say most of the time. They're going to be looking to keep their seat or to just continue where they are, or like
how do we fix that then? Is there any way?
Oh, I don't think you can really fix it.
So
there's too many people in too many positions that are not going to.
So we're just done. There's no way to fix it.
I don't know what we do, but think about it. Like, how do you fix something that's just inherently flawed?
Yeah, I mean,
two-party system, burn it down. I've said that many times.
I think we've talked about it a little bit. I think definitely term limits would help, so that people aren't seeking in the Congress. Yeah, so they're not seeking re-election all the time, and they can actually focus on real issues. Because we just had a guy, Jeff Flake, just recently came out this weekend, condemning President Trump and all of these things, and he was talking about, he actually stayed relatively consistent, so I support him in that regard, but of saying that, you know, Trump has had a lot of rhetoric and stuff like that isn't presidential, and it's a problem. And he was saying that he sacrificed his career by doing that, but then he also said in the same statement that he wasn't running for re-election again. So I'm like, no, you weren't sacrificing your career at all, because you were saying this after you said you're not going for re-election again. And I think having term limits in there so that these guys aren't always trying to get re-elected and stuff like that, but they're actually doing what their constituents voted them in for, and they're not worrying about being re-elected all the time, might help in that regard.
So. I don't think they care one bit what people vote them in for. I think they just care that they get in.
That's pretty cynical.
I'm very cynical in that regard. I don't know. I have very little faith in the normal average person. And if you really break it down, I really do think politicians are just people with power.
Yeah.
And so since I have very little faith in people,
and then
people with power is even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can't see, like, we have a Republican majority in all three branches, and we can't get anything done.
Yeah.
There's been no healthcare reform.
Yeah.
Basically nothing changes in the
taxes.
Well,
they've got a super fractured caucus right now. I mean, you have Republicans who aren't conservative at all, and then you have Republicans who are moderate, and then you have Republicans
There's
who
not
are more
even enough to
government.
get a majority to get something done.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with you.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's
So
absolutely
they suck,
a problem.
and we should get rid of all of them.
Brutal, man.
No, I'm just saying, like, you got what we like. The Republicans got what they wanted.
I think what the
They
Republicans...
got the presidency. They've got the House.
Yeah.
They can't do anything.
I agree with you, man. It's a problem. I think the Republicans need to get back to principles first.
I don't think they were ever principled.
Oh, well, I think they were when they founded the Republican Party to end slavery. I mean, that was pretty principled.
I guess.
I don't know. I think that politicians in general have to kind of return to their principles, whatever side they're on, especially the Republicans, though. Because, seriously, dude, the Republican Party is so divided because you have the Freedom Caucus over here, your Rand Pauls, your Mike Lees, your Ted Cruzes, and then you have your John McCain's, your Lindsey Graham's, your Susan Collins, who are... basically Democrats, pretty much. I mean, they're not going to vote for anything Republican at all. They're much bigger government. I mean, John McCain has blasted Trump's tons of times. He's blasted any kind of healthcare reform, any kind of taxation cut, any kind of spending cut. They've said that they're not going to vote for. So the Republicans are in a pretty hard place because in reality, if you actually changed John McCain, Lindsey Graham, and Susan Rice to D's instead of R's, right?
You really think? But he ran as a Republican for president.
Yeah, I know, man, but that was a crappy freaking primary.
Yeah,
I don't know. We can get into that.
Freaking Sarah
Another fail of the Republicans. Yes. But I mean, I think it's definitely a problem, and I think basically the main reason that I wanted to put this in there is because I think that Ben Sasse brought up a good point.
Yes. That
it's really important for whoever you are, but especially Republicans right now, to stick to principles, stick to the Constitution, and even if you might disagree with something, because we get into kind of conversation about this all the time, and it's really interesting. But even if you disagree with something on a personal level, at a grander scale, a political level, it's generally much better for the government to stay out of it and to allow maximum personal freedom.
No,
the
government needs to be involved with everything.
Dictating
it fixes
morality.
It stuff. We just talked about how well it runs. No, but yeah, I totally agree, and it's also good to understand, like we've said many times, is that there's nuance to this. You can say that you want the 10 Commandments taken down from courthouses, but still completely
like agree with them.
I like the 10 Commandments. I think they're great. They're part, like, I love them.
It leads to typically a moral life.
I don't think they belong in a state-run courthouse.
Yeah.
They just don't belong there.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. And because the laws and rulings of courts should not be being sentenced and whatever.
It shouldn't be based on what the 10 Commandments say. It should be based on what the United States Constitution says. And if people want to abide by the 10 Commandments, then more power to you. I think that's a great personal decision in your life.
But not federally.
Exactly, yeah.
Yep.
No, I totally agree.
Although I wouldn't be against most people federally also believing the 10 Commandments, because I think that could help a lot.
That would probably be helpful.
Yeah.
But with that being said, guys, we're going to throw it over to you. Tell us what you think in the comment section below about all these stories that we covered.
Do you think the 10 Commandments should stay? I mean, I know a lot of people personally that do like having the 10 Commandments there. And I like having them there, but I understand the need to take them apart.
Absolutely, because then if the federal government endorses the 10 Commandments, what is to stop them from endorsing certain other religious beliefs
they need
that
to
you
just
may completely
stay out of
disagree
it.
with?
Yep.
Absolutely. But with that being said, guys, we're going to jump right into the main topic this week. All right, guys, we are back in the main topic, and I'm pretty excited to talk about this.
Yes.
We're going to talk about, of course,
1 year on YouTube.
Yeah, 1 year on YouTube.
1 year
man.
Changing the world, some might say.
Exactly.
By some, I mean a couple people.
No, I mean, I think this is pretty exciting, man, because I'm excited with where we've gone in this 1 year. I'm excited with the direction, the content that we put out last year. I'm excited with the direction that we're going moving forward. With the direction we're moving forward. Most excited, the thing that I'm most excited about, of course, is you guys watching our channel, subscribing to our channel. Some of you guys that are commenting below. Also, we have other platforms. We got Soundcloud, we got Instagram, we got Twitter, we got Facebook. We have followers over there engaging in conversations, especially Instagram, man. That's totally awesome. We got a lot of people on Soundcloud listening to the podcast, and it's just really exciting, man.
It's cool. It was so my goal in a year with this was I was hoping to have 100 subs by the end of the year. That was like my goal. And we've reached that. We're at like 114-ish, I think, now. Yeah. That's freaking awesome. And thank you to every single person that's subscribed to us.
Absolutely.
And not only the subscriptions, but like the views. Like, we're getting good views on our videos, but not only our videos, we're getting solid views on our freaking SoundCloud, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome. Especially if you look percentage-wise of our subscribers based on other people. Like, it's super exciting. And like we said when we made this, we started this because we just felt like we needed to say something. And like we wanted to try to project our thoughts because we did feel like what our positions weren't necessarily out there. Like, normally you're not going to see our positions. You're going to see the majority of leftist or liberal positions, which we sometimes have, sometimes don't. But I think just the conversation, and we've had great conversations, and I'm very stoked.
Yeah, man, I'm excited what we brought to the table last year, and I'm excited what we're going to kind of do this next year coming up. We talked about we're going to kind of transition. We're going to obviously keep the Peanut Gallery podcast and keep hitting stuff with the news and politics and economics and all of those important topics, but we're also going to kind of venture out into a different podcast in like entertainment, media, video games, stuff like that we enjoy doing on the side,
right?
To just kind of keep us from not losing our minds from covering news.
It's that's something I didn't expect how draining it is to stay on top, because I drifted in and out of politics, like paying attention to here, then sometimes when life sped up, wasn't paying attention as much, and like having to constantly stay on board to what's going on and trying to filter out the noise is draining. I was not expecting that.
And creating shows and figuring out, okay, what do we want to talk about? What do we not want to talk about? This thing happened. Is it worth talking about? All this kind of stuff. Like you said, it can be draining at times. And while I love it and I'm passionate about it, and arguably it's the most important thing that we'll talk about on this channel, I think it's still definitely important to connect with people on an entertainment level and stuff that they enjoy doing casually, because that's kind of really how that's kind of how you build relationships. That's how you put your personality out there.
Common interests.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I think that that'll be a lot of fun kind of moving into that spectrum, and then also kind of keeping it fresh with the politics and the news and stuff like that as well, putting that out there. But one of the things, we were kind of looking over certain stats that we have kind of accumulated over this last year of our channel. Milestones. And we looked about it, and we've had viewers from all continents of the world.
Minus Antarctica. But from every other continent of the world, we've had people listen to our podcast.
That's crazy.
That's freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that blows my mind that people, like, I don't think anyone, like, why would you listen to us? It's kind of cool to me personally. Like, we're just two people. No, like, you know what I'm saying? We're just two people. And it's really cool also that we're just two people doing what we want to do when we want to do it about what we want to do it about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's just what we've chosen to do. And when we put the shows together, it's great not having anyone else having input. You know, like,
dictate what we talk about.
Yeah, it's a little bit refreshing to completely be on us. Of being like, well, you know, I don't feel like going over that, so we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Or I really think we should talk about this, so we're going to.
Yeah.
It's freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah, no,
it's so cool.
I think it's really cool, man. And I've loved every second of it, and I've loved certain videos that we put out that have gotten pretty big, and like there's been a lot of views on it, and us getting excited about that. And really the engagement and stuff like that on Instagram has been pretty cool. Yeah. Posting different stories, and then just looking at the comments that people who follow us will post, and then engaging back on it, and then having other people comment on that, and it just becoming this kind of thread, this discussion, this conversation.
Yeah, which is what we wanted to start, because you don't see them that much.
Absolutely, man. And of course you have your outliers, but typically these conversations are pretty cohesive, pretty good. People bring pretty good points to the table and relevant topics to talk about. And I think that that's awesome, man. Yeah. And I think that's what we kind of emulate on our channel when we talk about certain things.
Yeah, and we've even had viewers bring us topics and been like things I wasn't aware of had happened, and then incorporating them into the show. Like, it's cool to have the feedback and the interaction with the fans of them saying, hey, here's something I would love for you guys to discuss. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Well, sure, we'll discuss it. Yeah. That's been really cool, too. Didn't even think that was like a thing that was going to happen.
Absolutely, man. And
it's so humbling, man.
Yeah, and then our website coming out, and we have a guy who writes different articles for us, and we post articles every now and then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, BeyondBorders.com puts out articles, weekly about different specific topics. And then, like you were saying about how fans will just kind of instant message us on Instagram saying, hey, man, have you heard about this? And we'll be like, oh, yes, we have, or no, we haven't. And then we'll incorporate it into our shows. And I think that's pretty cool that we have that kind of connection with an audience, people that listen to us right now at this point, where they can send us stuff and us saying, oh yeah, that'd be great to put in the show, and then we talk about it and they enjoy it. I think that's awesome.
Because I didn't want to become, and I think we've done a pretty good job of becoming just like a dumb meme channel or a dumb thing that, like, an Instagram post that just posts dumb photos and you just like the photo and you laugh. Like, I like that we've had some of those, because it's good to laugh sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's healthy.
The comics by A.F. Branco on legal insurrection, freaking golden. I recommend you just check them out. But we've had great conversations, and like things that are like good conversations about like things that like in society today you really can't discuss without you being like labeled. Like, we've had topics about transgenders and like athletes, and both sides coming forward and being like, well, hey, like, why can't they? But at the same time, like the physical attributes being different, like things that I think are important for us to discuss, because
Absolutely.
to pass legislation without discussing something is a little bit bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a good, like, I think we need to have these discussions, and so that's what we aim to do, and we've actually succeeded at it, which is freaking nuts.
Yeah. No,
Like,
it's really
cool. I don't know. I think it's inspiring to me personally that we've done this, and I can't wait to keep going.
Yeah.
And like we said, we're going to start probably branching out, doing a couple other things this next go around, this next year.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't be more stoked. Like, what was your favorite thing that we've accomplished in this past year?
I mean, the most exciting to me was that exposing Evergreen video that we put out.
That freaking got lit on fire,
yeah, man. We got like 1,500 views on that. It was just kind of, we put it out, and initially YouTube's algorithms are kind of strange, or their view count is kind of strange the way it works, and we were kind of seeing it climb and climb, because we'd put out videos before and seen him climb and climb, but then it gets cut back after it adjusts.
Right, because the view count's not always completely accurate, and you'll see it go up and like, oh, we got this many, and then it'll be like cutting 2/3 of it, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, absolutely. If you haven't seen that video, we're going to put it in the link description below. You can click on that, but it was kind of talking about Evergreen State College and kind of just the insanity, the chaos, that ensued there. But we put it up, and then we were watching it, right, of course, because we watched our videos.
Remember we were at Fort Myers when it happened.
Yeah, absolutely. We were on vacation. We were watching it. We were like, oh, man, this thing has like 250 views. Do you think this is like YouTube's view count messing up or something? And then we're like, all right, this has like 600 views now. When is it going to adjust? And like, okay, it has like over 1,000 views. This is pretty incredible. And that was really awesome to me, just seeing that something that we put out there, thoughts that we had, but basically thoughts that other people also had, and we were able to voice that opinion for them. They were able to go to our channel, watch a video, see something that they agree with, like the channel, subscribe to the channel.
And we had a lot of comments on that video, a lot of great discussions.
Yeah,
and in that instance, it was something that I felt wasn't getting covered enough.
Yeah.
And to feel like we actually...
Because there were only a couple other channels that we follow, and we follow a pretty good amount of outlets and stuff like that were actually talking about that. And I think that's one of the reasons why that video exploded, because there weren't a lot of videos about that.
And so to see it reach out to such a significant amount of people was cool to me personally.
Totally.
And I don't know. That was so cool and humbling. I remember when it got to like a couple hundred, you were like, it's not going to get to 300, and I was like, well, it'll probably get to 750, completely joking.
Yeah.
Blew right past that. I was like, geez.
This is crazy.
And the conversations were awesome, because it was just blowing up on my phone constantly, you know?
Yeah.
And like, we didn't want to have that all the time, that much on our phone, so we haven't put out another video that good since, because, it's on purpose. But, no, I'm just kidding.
Maybe we'll put out another one.
But yeah, no, that was very
It was a lot of fun, and I think that's kind of why we started this channel, to put out things that we're super passionate about and that we really want to talk about, and also because we enjoy doing this. I mean, we enjoy obviously talking to each other. We're cousins. We've grown up together. We like talking about kind of relevant topics of the day, but also we feel that our viewpoints, our discussions make sense in the kind of reality that we live in today, and we have different views on certain things, and we like kind of putting that out there and discussing it. And
well, I think the battle of a debate is one of the most important things to formulating an idea. Yeah. You know, like, we need to probably do more of these, of like straight up, because there are certain things we kind of try not to touch, because we do know that we're both super passionate about opposite points of view on it. And I do think we have very spirited discussions, and we had great discussions on certain things, and then we've had the fans interact as well, coming to one side or the other. And it's not really about sides. Yeah. It's about the discussion, understanding other people's point of view, and getting a result that is a compromise, because you're not going to get anything done.
It's all about compromise. I totally agree. I think that would be kind of interesting to do in the coming days and stuff like that.
And most importantly, when we first started this, I mean, we were pivotal in our president's election. You know, I mean, we made Trump win. And I'm kind of sad about that now, because he sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
But then if you look at the alternative,
I don't know if it would have been any better with the alternative.
No, not at all. But yeah, man, I thought it was super cool, and just kind of looking back at the videos that we put out there and realizing that it turned a year old now, and just kind of, we went back and we watched some of the videos. We're going to play real quick what episode 1 looked like.
Yeah, episode 1 of the PGP. We thought it'd be fun to kind of go back to what we were like then, and kind of just do a little bit of reflection. Again, a year's not a ton of time, but I do think our production quality's kind of improved.
Totally, man.
I think our
personality's gotten a little bit more comfortable on camera.
We're not both
I don't look
sounding
like
we
child
just died.
Because I have a beard, so we're doing a little bit better there.
Dude,
but this
is so bad.
This is kind of a clip of the first episode that we had.
Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Peanut Gallery Podcast. This is the place that we provide completely unprofessional and insignificant opinions on the most important and significant topics of the day. I'm your host, Jared, and with me as always is Seth. Seth, how you doing today, man?
Doing well, man. Excited to do the inaugural Peanut Gallery Podcast.
Yeah,
I think we got some
first one.
interesting. Yeah, dude. I think it's we're gonna have some interesting topics. Mostly just talking about why we're starting this, but also just going through some new stuff. So I'm excited, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, it's so cringeworthy. Like, it's cool to see that we've I feel like we've gotten a lot more not social, but like conversational. You know, we're not both just like,
Sometimes
we're totally...
a little bit higher in the
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And it's cool to see the progression. And I hope that next year we come back to this video right now.
And we're like, oh
and
my
like,
gosh,
wow, that was really crappy back then. Look at the lighting or whatever.
No doubt, we'll definitely say that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, critiquing.
But it's
is
been a lot
always
of
good.
fun, man. It's
It's
all
been
about
so
the
much
journey.
fun.
It's been really cool, and we appreciate all the people who kind of watched our first videos and watching our videos now, man. It's really exciting.
And shared. I mean, we've had friends and family. I've had friends from old jobs that I had reach out to me and say, "Hey, I just ran into your video. That's awesome. You have a subscriber now." And I was like, "That's freaking cool."
Yeah.
People that I didn't even know shared common beliefs, and maybe they might not even share beliefs because I don't want our subscriber base to just be people that share our beliefs.
No, absolutely
I want
not.
people like
That's not our goal with
No.
this channel, right? Our goal is to kind of, at least what I'm super passionate about, and I think you too, is to kind of bring stories, educate people on what we believe, bring our perspective to it, but then really just bring you guys the facts, and
or
then you
just
can
foster a conversation.
exactly foster a conversation about something and bring you guys kind of. What I think a lot is lost nowadays, especially in the mainstream media, is facts about something.
Yes.
So we really try to do our research, and if there's topics that we don't fully understand, we don't discuss it on the show.
Yes.
You know what? So if there's something that's going on that's a pretty big issue and we haven't had the time to research it and really talk about it, we're not going to bring it to our show because we only bring shows that we're very comfortable about talking about,
Right.
and we have all of the facts for it.
Because one of the things I can't stand is someone talking about something they don't know what they're talking about.
No, dude, totally, man.
And you can tell when someone doesn't know what they're talking about. You can tell.
Absolutely, and it's much better to just not talk about that thing and bring a topic to the table that you actually know what you're talking about.
And there's enough happening that
There's exactly, and you know, certain weeks are different than others. If we have more time to research it, we'll bring more in-depth topics to the table. But we always try and spend time researching it, looking up new topics, finding fresh material that we're passionate, that we think you guys are passionate about, bring the facts to it, and then bringing our perspective to it. And if you guys agree with it, great. If you don't, great, that's fine. But we at least feel comfortable that we brought the facts to the table. We've told you everything that's true about it, and then we've kind of offered our opinions about it. And I think that's kind of the main gist, the main passion, and the main part of this channel, as we have done in the past and as we continue moving forward, is to kind of follow that outline.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep, I totally agree.
Yeah, so I think that that's kind of what we wanted to kind of talk about in this main topic, is just kind of reminisce a little bit on the past, tell you guys some stuff that we're doing in the future. Speaking of that, as we mentioned before, we have our website, beyondborders.com. We're looking at merch by Amazon.
Yeah, in the upcoming weeks, pay attention because we'll be putting something out when we finally get approved or whatever. It's a process.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have some shirts. Yeah, we're gonna have some shirts that you can buy off Amazon.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got
nuts.
man, because we've had a couple different.
We've had a lot of people.
Multiple fans kind of reach out, message us saying, "Hey, man, your guys' shirts are awesome. We're not wearing them naturally. We have our hats on right now
because it's cold here.
Because it's cold right now. Yeah. But saying like, hey, man, where can we get these shirts? We want to support you guys, and also those shirts are pretty cool. Where can we get them? And the answer to that is merch by Amazon. That's gonna be coming up pretty soon. So we're gonna be updating you guys in the videos and on Instagram to come. But just be looking out for that because that's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awesome.
No, it's awesome.
And I'm stoked, and I can't wait to see what a freaking another year goes, man.
Yeah, I'll be doing this.
I just hope, I don't I'm personally, I don't like being comfortable in something if I'm doing something. If once I get comfortable, it's time to do something new.
Absolutely.
And so that's kind of you've seen the logo rendition that we did. We've tried to up our edits. And it's like once we kind of
don't freaking move states to live here,
so that
we could be doing this. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's like I constantly want to be pushing forward and kind of trying to do something more and do something new.
Absolutely.
And so that's a big part of my motivation through things that I'm passionate about is to constantly challenge yourself to do something, because once it becomes routine, it's boring.
Exactly.
And I don't want it to be boring, and this hasn't really became boring. And we things have come up. We haven't I would have liked to have done every week.
Yeah.
But just life happens, and when
Yeah.
you move, graduate, get married in the span of 2 months, it's kind of hard.
Things happen.
I mean, we've had more shows. Like, we've had more than one show a week.
Yeah, I think we put
which
out
is
like
crazy.
64 something.
We've had 64 shows in
yeah.
this past year, which
is awesome.
averages out to more than one show a week, which I think is absolutely nuts. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize the amount of work. You know, you think like, oh, they just made a video. That's easy. It's like,
Yeah.
it takes time.
It takes a lot.
And
man.
I have
production value, the
a
editing.
ton of respect for more respect for people I watch on YouTube now, like for Franco, and like especially people that have a lot of the cuts.
Yeah.
Whew! Nope. No, thank
it
you.
takes a lot of work.
I don't
do
think
that.
we'll be going that direction anytime soon.
Yeah.
But
But hopefully, like we said, we're gonna try and be putting out, you know, a little bit more content gradually over time as our schedules kind of change and kind of become more routine. So I'm really excited about it. I think this next year is gonna hold a lot of great stuff for us. And once again, guys, just thank you to everyone who's watching these videos, everyone who subscribes, people on SoundCloud, people on Instagram, people on Twitter. We really appreciate you guys. We love it. I mean, honestly, if there were just like, you know, a few people who watch these videos every week, I would be compelled to put this out. Just because I love kind of the discussion. I enjoy doing it with you, and I love kind of putting our opinions out there just to say that, look, we tried.
We did something.
we tried to fix the world. We tried to do something.
Yeah, no, and the sport's been overwhelming,
great.
honestly.
Yeah.
And so everyone on Google Play, on iTunes, I mean, that's nuts that we're on there. Like, I remember growing up always listening to podcasts being like, wow, they must be so cool they're on podcast networks. And we're on podcast networks with people listening. It's absolutely humbling and really freaking cool. And I'm like, I don't know why you guys listen to me. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me personally.
But with that being said, guys, we're going to finish up our main topic this week. And we're going to jump right into what triggered us this week.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are back, and we're gonna finish this week's podcast as we always do with the "What Triggered Us" section. This week, this of course is where we deny all reasonable and logical thinking, replace it only with emotion,
as good Americans do.
As good Americans do, absolutely. So, Seth, what had you triggered?
This is actually, this is something I saw today that I was like, it personally defies all logic thinking, because I couldn't imagine myself actually using this service or anyone. I don't know who would want to use this. But Amazon recently put out a video about their new service called, I guess it's a service, called the Amazon Key.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you need to remotely manage guest access to the front door of your home. Maybe to let in your dog walker, a friend, or maybe to let in a team of home cleaning ninjas. To get started, order the Amazon Key in-home kit, which includes Amazon Cloud Cam and one of several compatible smart locks. Have it installed by a pro, or if you're handy, install it yourself. Once installed, it's no problem if you're not at home. With Amazon Key, you can get your packages delivered just inside your door. You can track your delivery with real-time notifications, watch the delivery happening live, or review a video of the delivery after it's complete.
So now we are remotely letting strangers drop packages off in our houses, or maybe clean our house, which is
clean it.
Because I mean, the most millennial thing is millennials aren't clean.
And put a camera in your house.
Also, so the service, it requires you to have a smart lock. And then it actually requires you to have the camera.
Yeah.
But what, like, not so much the idea, which is weird to me, like, leave it outside the door.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, leave it outside the door. Don't come in my house. Personally, I'm very private. I don't like people in my house. You can probably test that. I lock my door when I leave. I'm super private, and there's no freaking way you're ever gonna get me to have a stranger drop off something in my house.
Yeah.
My house. But what I thought was actually fascinating was the 180 in my brain of these smart home cameras, where I've always thought they're super invasive, and like okay, so you can put security cameras in your house and like swipe through them on your phone. You could basically see your whole house if you have enough cameras set up. And I've always thought, okay, well, that's super invasive because the cameras, you can see them on your phone, they're connected to the internet. Someone's probably watching, let's be honest. It's just like when you have the Google Home, like we've talked about, but basically your phone, you just kind of have to assume someone's watching or listening.
Yeah.
But now the camera is becoming the thing that is providing you a sense of security. Because you can see the person come in and drop it off.
You can watch the person steal your stuff.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, they shouldn't go past the door. Oh, they're out of frame.
They're going past the door.
Yeah, they're out of frame. That was the only part of me that was kind of interesting, where it's like this. I can kind of almost see them. Basically, they went like this far with the camera, and most people are like, well, that's ridiculous. That's invasive. But now when they go this far, and now people are like, okay, well, that's even worse, but the camera makes me feel secure there, so maybe I should get a camera.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if they didn't expect people to use this key service, but they expected people to feel more comfortable with the camera because it gives it a use case of it actually adding security.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
I think it's
who's gonna freaking you're really gonna let
do this?
like random people in your house?
Yeah, man, I'm not that trusting of people, and you're definitely not that trusting of people.
Way.
But I'm sure that 99% of the time, nothing would ever happen. Yeah. Right. But I'm still not gonna let people just come into my house.
No.
Especially delivering a package. If I order something from Amazon, you can leave whatever it is at the front door. That's fine.
Sometimes I've had some things that I'm like, oh, that's really sketchy. It's outside my door. But I can understand the majority of stuff. And at the same time,
it's substantially more sketchy in my mind to let them inside my house and put it in there. You know what I mean?
But also, I do not understand anyone that puts a smart lock on their door.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Like, do you what's the lock for? And that's just sketchy. What's so hard to put a key in? Like, let's be honest. Totally. I mean, the smart locks are like they unlock when your phone's near, or like you tap your phone.
It's definitely cool in theory. And like in a perfect world,
but someone hacks in, you just unlock your door.
Yeah, man.
Nope.
But like the commercial was like, oh, a cleaning crew while you're at work can come in and clean your house. I'm like, oh, in a perfect world, that sounds so great. But no,
people suck.
I'm not gonna.
I don't trust
anyone.
Gonna
do that. But I thought it was interesting. We'll see kind of how it goes.
I mean, I love Amazon. Like, I mean Amazon and Google basically own me. So, and I mean, Amazon's very well known and famous for basically just throwing a ridiculous amount of money into R&D and research and seeing what works and what doesn't. It's absolutely insane. So, I mean, I'm sure we're going to see if this works. Yeah. Maybe it catches on, and maybe it becomes a standard, because you could see it normalizing it, you know, like if it is so ubiquitous that everyone just understands when someone drops a package off, they no longer drop it off outside your house but inside your house.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool, because I do feel more secure with the package in my house. And if it becomes so normalized and there's laws protecting you and stuff, or I don't know if there's be laws or what, but if it becomes so normalized that it's normal for that, like it's normal for a pizza guy to be outside your door.
Yeah,
like if that might be kind of cool, but I can't see that happening because I don't trust people.
There you go. Human nature doesn't change too much.
Thank you for watching, but I don't trust you.
Nailed it.
What about you?
All right, so yeah, man, I'm kind of getting in the holiday spirit with this part right here.
Holiday?
Yeah, man, it's Halloween coming up, man.
You are such a bad Christian, man. Christians cannot believe in Halloween.
So this story comes from Cosmopolitan, and they're here to police Halloween and tell you what you can and cannot wear for Halloween.
I'm glad. I wanted boundaries.
You wanted,
because there's too many options.
Like
I wanted to wear that Wonder Woman outfit.
Yeah,
but then they didn't have it in a boy size. And I was like, well, this seems sexist. So.
Yeah, no. So, of course, Cosmopolitan comes out, and they put out an article saying that your, young daughter or boy, I guess, if he wants to, can't dress up as the Disney princess Moana, based off of the new movie Moana or somewhat new movie. Yeah, I love the Rock, but I haven't seen the movie.
It's pretty good. I watched it on a plane to Venice, because I went to Venice.
That's a good movie. You know it's a good movie if you're like, yeah, I watched it on a plane.
Yeah, it's fine. It was a Disney princess movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But anyway, so they released kind of an article criticizing this, and this is what they say. It's a little bit long, but I'm going to read it because it's just absolutely ridiculous. So they say, quote, "Recognize this. Moana is a really special character to young girls of Polynesian descent who have never seen a Disney princess who looks like them. Just like how Tiana from Princess and the Frog likely resonated with young black women who had waited decades to see themselves being represented. White girls have plenty of princesses to choose from. There's Belle, Ariel, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty. You get the idea. If your Caucasian son or daughter doesn't get exactly what they wanted for Halloween, encourage them to take a step back and realize they're awash in privilege, and realize that the Moanas and the Tianas of the world will likely never see, because they are full of racist a-holes in the world." So basically saying, if you're a white person, you're not allowed to dress up as Moana, and if your son or daughter wants to dress up as that, just encourage them to take a step back, realize their privilege, and acknowledge that there's a bunch of racist a-holes in the world.
So basically saying because of the skin color that they can't change, they're
Dude,
not allowed to do something.
It's bad enough. Like, if you want to police adults for dressing up and mocking different stereotypes, then, I mean, I think that's stupid.
That's
but
what
if
Halloween's for.
Yeah, I think it's dumb. If you really want to write an article, fine. But they're talking about they're talking about kids' costumes right now.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude.
I would really want to be. I'm completely honest. Like I've never, and maybe it is an unconscious thing, but I've never looked at like I'm thinking Hercules or Aladdin. Like I loved Aladdin. I never was like, oh, he's brown and I'm white.
I can't dress up as
I've
him.
never thought the process of I connect with him more because he's my skin color.
That's because you're a sane person.
Like that's bizarre to me to be like, well, you know, I mean. Like, maybe they do. Maybe black women, like black girls, do love that the Princess and the Frog Princess was African-American or black or whatever you want to call it. Like, I never saw the movie, which probably means I'm racist. But, like, I've never personally felt connected to Prince Charming because he's white.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like Prince Charming. He's barely in the movie. What are you doing, man?
Kind of lame.
Can't figure out shoes? Come on. But this is completely ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
And dress up as whoever the frick you want.
Yeah,
it's
no.
Halloween.
I totally agree, man. And it was kind of in response because Disney put out an outfit, I guess, last year to kind of coincide with the movie Moana, and it was a costume of the character that The Rock played, who was kind of like he's a Polynesian Hawaiian character. Anyways,
he's a god.
Yeah, but
Awesome.
The costume that it had sleeves that were like brown and had the tattoos, and it got pulled because it was like, oh no, this is racist because if a white person wears this brown costume, that's somehow racist. It's like, come on, man.
Brown arm?
This is absolutely totally. This is ridiculous, man. It's Halloween. There's people dressing up as just. Who the frick cares? And that's what Halloween is for.
It's like if they dress up as a skeleton, well, they have skins, so they're offending all the dead people.
No, but the greatest part about this article is it was like, after it said all these things that you can't dress up as, it was like, yeah, but you could dress up as a Rubik's Cube.
But what if you're not a square?
Literally one of the recommendations. There you go, exactly.
Yeah, that's stupid, man. And
I just thought...
I feel very bad for any parent that is basing their parenting decisions based on cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's probably a bad road to go down.
Totally, man, because they come up and they say, like, listen, you need to step up because you're the parent in this situation. But in tons of other instances, right, like if your kid wants to identify as a different gender or something like that, they're like, oh, no, you need to support your kid in that. You can't step up and say, no, you're a boy. Like, it's just insane.
I just can't wait to raise kids in this world,
has
dude. It's
jumped off a freaking cliff. Yeah,
it has.
I agree.
You know why?
Why?
Because of Republicans. I was just kidding.
It's a crazy world we live in, man. And we encourage you guys to leave all of the comments that you have, comments, criticisms, whatever it may be. Leave it in the comment section below. We enjoy reading it and jumping into the comments, discussing with you guys.
Discussion, honestly. Please don't comment.
Some of the places that you guys can find is Facebook, of course, Instagram, Twitter, Google Play, iTunes.
Yeah, if you're on Google Play or iTunes, give us a thumbs up or rating. That really helps a
review.
lot for exposure. That's awesome. And we also just thank you for subscribing. It's freaking nuts.
Absolutely, man. So to kind of end this podcast, we will see you guys next week. And as always, stay informed.